What is up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Bending Ballistic Show. Today, we're here with another Anarchy Outdoors video, and this is for upgrades for the Ruger 1022 RPR bolt action 22 rifle. So, first thing we have is the Anarchy Outdoors bolt handle. So, we're going to be putting that on there. We have the Anarchy Outdoors muzzle brake. We have the Anarchy Outdoors penguin grip. We have the Anarchy Outdoors bolt shroud for the Ruger 1022. We have our bolt knob. And we have our extended magazine release. So, we are going to work on this together. And I'm going to show as much as I can of doing this as I can on the video, and then y'all can let me know how I did down below. So I do have my Ruger 1022 bolt already out, and while we have it apart, we're going to go ahead and clean it. So for people that don't know how to take one of these apart, I will show you, but until further ado, let's get into it, and we're going to start with the bolt shroud and the bolt knob. That's what we're going to start with. So, give me just a second, and we'll get started on it. Okay, so we have our bolt completely disassembled here. Here's our firing pin. Here's our original bolt shroud. Here's our original bolt handle. And here's one compression spring. And here's another compression spring. So, what you need to take these apart is flathead screwdriver and a 1/8 inch punch, and when you take your bolt out, you need to turn it clockwise to relieve the pressure on the spring that's right here. So that's how you take that out. Don't lose this pin because you're going to need it again. And let's move on to the next part, and that is basically the reassembly. And we need to make sure that we install everything correctly. We're going to have to get this spring out of here, and you just simply take your screwdriver, slide it right in here, and that spring will come out with no resolve. Slide that right back in there, and for now, this section is complete. Now we move on to our bolt handle. Okay, so we have our bolt shroud installed, and I went ahead and cleaned the bolt and put our new handle on there, or our new knob, our new handle. And so there's the upgraded bolt with Anarchy parts. So now let's move on to our magazine release. So this is our magazine release, and on the back of Anarchy's packaging, they have instructions on their website for you to install this stuff. So I know I can't show a whole lot on here because of YouTube rules, but if you just scan that QR code, it takes you right there and shows you how to do it. So let me get the rifle up here, and we're going to take out the old magazine release, and we're going to put this one in there, and I'll kind of show you a little bit what I'm doing. It is very important when you're taking off the original bolt shroud here that you relieve the tension off this spring. If not, this is going to come shooting out at you, and you're going to have a bad day. So when we put our firing pin back through there, it simply goes through like that. We put it right back in here. It's a little bit of a tight fit, which is fine. And then you want it up at a 90-degree angle like that. So, for now that section is done. I'm going to put this back in, install my detent spring, as well as install my two compression springs on the side. After I get that, we'll be right back. Okay, so essentially, for the well tail, we have our lower off our action here. There's a little plunger on the inside. You push on that and pull this right up. Now, I did go ahead and throw this grip on here, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So now we have our magazine release out. We need to take our punch and just push that pin right out right there. And pull out our top piece there. And then everything comes out right like that. Now, so what I found that works easiest for me is if you kind of push in here and relieve tension off all this. And there's a pin right here. See how this kind of flops? But down here on the inside, where this pin comes through, this groove right here, this part needs to sit down on the shaft of this pin. So if you hold this in here, it makes it just a little bit easier, and then you just line everything up. While I've got this out, I'm going to go ahead and clean it and oil it, and then before we put it back in the gun, I'll have it all nice and clean. And then the grip, you just put the standard grip on like how you would any other standard grip there. So hold on just a second, and I'm going to get this cleaned up. We're going to get it all back installed. We're going to function test it, and then the Ruger RPR should be done. Okay, so we're going to go install it. What we're going to do is we're going to relieve the tension off the well tail here where it kind of is out. We're going to go in at an angle, get it into this groove right here. There's two grooves on the inside here. We're going to get it right here into this groove. And then now the well tail is installed. And so what's next from there is put back in our action screws, function test it, make sure everything's good, and then go to the range and shoot it. But since we don't have our action screws or our action up here right now, we're going to take our magazine, we're going to put it down in there. It locks, it releases, does what it's supposed to do. So there you have it. That's the well tail from Anarchy Outdoors. Let me get this put back together and we'll take a look at the rifle completely assembled. Okay, so we got our muzzle brake to install now. So you just simply unscrew that right there. That is our thread protector that comes on the Ruger RPR. And we simply just take our, what I do, and this is because I'm kind of a little bit of a cheater when it comes to this. I use a punch inside the holes here. Now you can do really whatever you want to do, but this muzzle brake does attach seamlessly and there's just a slight gap there. I get it finger tight, torque it with my hand, and I come in here with a punch on rounded muzzle brakes like this, because you're not going to tighten it enough to really hurt it. And if you are tightening it that much, then you're doing something wrong. You can't even tell that I've been in there. I'm going to come out here a little bit further on the end, and I'm just going to double check my torque, make sure it's tight. It's tight, we're good. And this one has been Cerakoted, so I didn't want it scratched up. I looked at picking up a pair of Doyle's from Harbor Freight that have the rubber coating on them. But upon reading the reviews, I opted out of it. I may go ahead and pick them up anyways and do a review on the channel for a tool that may be useful for you for doing DIY, gunsmithing, upgrades, so on and so forth from there. Okay, so there you have it. We have our new bolt knob, shroud, bolt handle installed. We have our new grip installed. We have our well magazine release installed. We're going to function test it. So we are on fire. We're going to bring it back, go forward. Trigger works. Everything works. Let's check the magazine release. Let's make sure it works. So that's in, and magazine falls out freely. So there you have it, everybody. That is the Anarchy Outdoors well tail, bolt shroud, bolt knob, bolt handle for the Ruger RPR 1022. On a difficulty of install, I would give this a 3.5 to a 4. It's not entirely difficult, but there are some things that may give you some issues. But other than that, what you're going to need for this install of these parts is a screwdriver, a punch. This is a 1/8 inch punch. We're going to need a 1/8 inch Allen key and a 5/32 Allen key for the grip. And that's all the tools that you're going to need. Now, a little bit of advice. While you have everything apart, I do recommend you go ahead and clean it. But other than that, that's up to you. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad. I can't tell you how to take care of your stuff. But until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. And there will be a link down below for Anarchy Outdoors. And it's an affiliate link for the channel. If you go there and purchase some parts for your rifles, I'll get a little bit of money kickback on the channel here. So thanks for watching. Bye.